guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rise. We're back here in my backyard, and you know what? We got that one luxury midsize SUV people love to drive, and this is it. This is a 2022 Lexus RX 450h. Our particular one is also an F-Sport trim. But before we get into this blueberry blue RX, let's talk about what's going on here. Lexus, they really are going through their lineup. It's starting with the NX. Now they did the LX. Soon, it's gonna be the RX's time to shine in the SUV sunlight because of a redesign that will take place. Now, the RX has been around for such a long time and has gone through some revisions, but has Lexus let it get a little too stale? Especially when you look at the parent company, Toyota, with the new Highlander, because basically the RX and the Toyota Highlander basically are around the same size, being that mid-size SUV. We brought to you plenty about the Highlander, all the new technology, the engine choices, hybrid technology, all that good stuff. So what I want to find out is it better to go with the Toyota over the more luxury trim RX, or should you just hold out altogether and wait for the redesign that we know we are on the cusp of receiving? So let's go ahead, let's dive into our Grecian water. That's what they call this, Grecian water, and find out, is the RX 450h F-Sport the better SUV over a Highlander, or just wait for the redesign? Let's find out. Right off the bat, it's interesting how the styling exterior-wise is still looking pretty fresh on the RX. You'll notice how we have everything enclosed in one headlight housing. The triple beam LED headlights, LED turn signals, and those very unique L shape, obviously for Lexus, daytime running lamps. Now when you go F-Sport, it's not just a little badge you get on the fender. There's a lot of touches. The whole front end of this vehicle is specific to the F-Sport trim. So what you're gonna get is some functional side air curtains. I like the way they mimic the same design as the grille. On the low end, you do have these LED fog lights, and you're also gonna get black chrome accents rather than a bunch of shiny stuff all over the place. Now, coming across the front, you're gonna see some touches. Some of them are F-Sport, some of them are specific because this is H, it means hybrid. So right off the bat, you'll notice that the Lexus badge with the blue, that is that hybrid technology. You got your spindle grille design that waterfalls down with a forward-facing camera. It's a nice metallic black finish. This is specific to the F-Sport. Around the whole perimeter is dark chrome. I think that that is so smart to do because dark chrome definitely feels and looks sportier than just the regular shiny stuff. And then you'll notice the lower lip extension on the F-Sport trim, how it's a flat metallic silver, gives it that little extra element of design, but also helps with aerodynamic efficiency. Because remember, the great news is no longer do you have to drive a science experiment to get hybrid fuel economy. You could drive this RX that looks like a regular RX SUV, even though it's got the hybrid technology. It's stuff like that that is progress in the auto industry. Now, when we hop up on to the low slung hood, one of the best parts about any Lexus is the fit and finish. Look at how the hood fits perfectly with the top of the grille. You get a nice slight rise that goes towards the windshield, and then the way that they take the corners here and run it right into the hood, into the A-pillars, very, very unique style, definitely stands out. And if you were to compare this to the Highlander looks a little bit more kind of regular SUV that you would traditionally see, where this definitely, you look at it, you know something sporty or something special is going on. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So these wheels are specific to the F-Sport trim. So what that means is you're gonna get this nice 20-inch wheel, gunmetal metallic gray, 235 on the width, 55 series sidewall, looking really great. We got adaptive dampers all four corners. So when you go F-Sport trim, you're getting the badge, you're getting some aesthetic value out of it, but you're also getting different suspension bits to allow this to handle a little bit more sportier. It's sort of like, in a way, when you look at the Highlander XSE, which remember, you can't get the XSE as a hybrid. Now, going back to the wheel and tire, you're gonna get larger rotors as well, so that's gonna help with braking, and you do get all-wheel drive when you go hybrid. How do they do it? It's like the RAV4. There's an electric motor out back that's gonna power the rear wheels, but there's also electric motor up front to pair with the internal combustion engine, but we'll get to more about that in a second. The one thing I definitely gotta zonk, you know what it's gonna be, right? What is it? Yes. Flat black around the fender. This should be all Grecian water, that beautiful metallic blue. I don't know why on the sporty trim do they go flat black. That doesn't make sense to me. But coming down the side, you got a tasteful badge, F Sport, that shows that you're getting that sportier touch. It's not a true F vehicle. This is not an RXF. That does not exist yet. Hopefully, fingers crossed with the redesign, they will do something like that. But you do have gloss black on the mirror caps, real slim and trim on the turn signals. You do get bright, shiny metalwork top and bottom. This should be dark chrome for sure, but I do like the way you got color matched door handles, the bright silver for your roof rails, and then down below is a little bit of that flat black. But the great news is, look at the body line, especially how it kicks up here. The one thing I have to zonk is where they put the hybrid badge. Why? Why does this need to be here? Just put it on the back. And the great news is you're saving money because you only need one set of letters rather than letters on both sides. Nobody's even looking down there anyways. But as we work towards the rear, speaking of the rear quarter into the rear pillar, I love the way they shape this very unique rear glass. It's gonna be interesting to see where they take the design. If it's anything like the NX, we know things are gonna be huge and people are gonna love it. Speaking of loving, get to the tail end of the business. Guess what? I love the way that the wiper is tucked underneath there. See how clean that looks? Very nicely done. You got that great LED lighting, just like up front. We got LED lighting on the rear with the L. Love, like, live, love. You always got to finish with love. That's what Lexus says. We do have black chrome, and you still got the Lexus badge. I guarantee you, if you want to bet money, I'll bet you $100 right now that this badge will not exist on the next generation of RX. They're gonna spell out Lexus. Lexus. Remember, that's how you spell it. Coming down a little bit, we got our F Sport badge, RX 450H. Why is it blue? Not to match the color of our SUV, it's because of hybrid technology. And then working all the way down, I do like the way it's got the black chrome finish, clean rear diffuser, and you know what? Everything else just looks nice and simple. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and check out what this 450H is packing underneath it. All right guys, we got the hood popped. Underneath it, surprise, surprise, is actually a pretty cool looking engine cover. I have to give them that. It says Lexus Hybrid Drive with the Lexus badge and the bright silver. Just gives it a little splash of color. But what are we talking about here? We're talking about a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 that's paired with an electric motor up front, and you got the electric motor out back that's gonna give us our all-wheel drive, combined 308 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an eCVT. So that is the downfall here. No actual traditional torque converter automatic transmission. 0 to 60, not the fastest. 7.7 seconds, top speed around 124 miles an hour. The vehicle weighs 4,740 pounds, can tow 3,500 pounds, and here's where you're the winner every single time. 31 MPGs in the city, 28 on the highway. Also, like I said, you got the adaptive dampers, and we do have over 8 inches of ground clearance, which is also nice. But why don't we go ahead? Interesting to see this setup, very similar to what is on the Highlander. But why don't we go ahead? Let's throw it into reverse and hear what that pedestrian safety sound makes. All right, guys, here we are in this 2022 Grecian water. I should have wore a toga. Lori wouldn't let me wear it. I was gonna wear a toga for this review because of the Grecian watercolor of our 2022 Lexus RX 450H. I'm not done yet. F Sport. So I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I have always had a sweet spot in my heart for the RX. Around Valentine's Day, I'd always make little hearts and write the letters RX in the center of them with my initials. So I really am digging this one, but I also like the Highlander, and I like the fact that I could save money. Who doesn't love to save money? But I'm curious, how much is this Grecian Water 450h F Sport? Very good question. MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, is $63,000. Let's see what you get for the money. And if you should be waiting for that redesign, to the door panels. Still thinking that the style looks fine. I know some people are going to say that D word. No, not that one, you sicko. I'm talking about dated. It is soft touch material up top. I'm liking that silver finish right by the contrast stitching. And then the armrest is definitely soft to the touch. What's interesting is that door pocket actually expands. And I'll show you more of that when you come to the business side of things. But you could easily put a rack of ribs from Chili's in there. Some baby back ribs. Just slide them right in there. You want your baby back ribs? Go to Chili's, I guess. Going from the door panel to the dash, you got more of the contrast stitching. I like the silver trim. This is fine to me. It's not really bothering me. I know this is going to bother some people. Let me know how you feel about it. We got that floating iPad style infotainment system screen. It is 12.3 inches. You do have navigation and Apple CarPlay and all that good stuff. I think the thing a lot of people will like a little bit more and maybe not hate it so much is that this is a touchscreen. So I could bring up, you shrink one side, I could bring up our energy monitor with our battery pack and the engine and everything. We can go into our AC controls. I could bring up more of that info, music, and then of course I could double up on navigation if I really want to go ballistic and crazy. But we'll leave it there and then you could close it out. 1, 2, 3. Now to pull up the menu, I hit the menu button. You could easily get into your setup by touching the screen, or you could use the infamous Lexus trackpad. This will be the last time that will be featured in an RX, which is very good news because it's too cumbersome. You do have your different modes, and what's cool is when you go through them, like Sport S, you got Sport S Plus, and then of course you're gonna have Eco. 1, 2, 3, you're right back to where the screen. So you got your different modes. We got our analog clock. That's part of the luxury trim of a Lexus is you get the analog clock. Remember, small hand is the hours, larger hand is the minutes. And that's not the time, that just says Lexus. You do get a CD player. So bring out Pearl Jam. Bring out, maybe you want to do it old school with Milli Vanilli, even though it really wasn't Milli Vanilli, the people from the videos that you saw that were actually singing. But you could put them in here and you could jam out. You do have, speaking of jamming out, you could jam out to your temperature. We got dual climate. You and your passenger could have their own unique settings. We got a bright blue, talk about blueberries, power on button because we're in a hybrid. And then let me move the shifter out of the way because you got a little bit of a cave here. We got a place for your cell phone to charge. So we got wireless charging, 2 USB-A's and a 12 volt. This is a York peppermint patty holder. Just one, and you could put the larger one in there, it's okay. This is your eCVT to get you down the road. 2 cup holders, I love this silver trim. Key fob, it's the same one that they've been using, but it still works. Nice weight to it, it's not gonna pull your pants down in front of everybody. This is the infamous trackpad, like I was telling you. Do not operate it while you're driving, it's too dangerous. We do have heated seats and ventilated seats, and the good news is, it's all through the buttons. So you got 3 stages of both. There's our rotary knob to go into the different modes, Eco, Normal, Sport, and Sport Plus. And then you got your full EV mode, shut the traction control off, and then super soft on the armrest. Open it up, look at this. We got a little bit of a tray. I'm gonna get my garage door opener out of there, but you could easily put, I would say, a full bag of Skittles will go in here, and you see the felt lining? It won't rub off the colors. You got USB-A's. You do have a 12 volt, and I would say you could probably put a bowl of ice cream in there. So say if you want to have that nice cool snack, you could put it in there. Just make sure you eat it fast or you're not gonna have ice cream, you're gonna have soup. Just something to think about. Put this all back, close it up, seats. These are unique to the F Sport. I like them. Nice soft material, decent bolstering, believe it or not. The stitching is great, and then you're gonna get electric assist for the passenger. electric assist for the driver, and we got our panoramic sunroof. One-touch operation. I'm gonna close it because right now the sun is really shining brightly and it's blinding me. But why don't you come over here, because I want to show you some leather and some Lexus that's gonna maybe blind you. Come on over and I'll show you the business side. All right guys, business time. You get 3 memory seat settings on this RX 450h. Here's what I was telling you about how you can expand the door pike. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. Now you could put 2 racks of ribs, baby back ribs in there from Chili's, and then close it up. In the sill, you're gonna have this nice aluminum sill plate with the Lexus badging, and then the pedal box looks like it's out of a race car. The largest aluminum dead pedal I've ever seen. They actually use 10 aluminum cans. They recycle them to make this dead pedal, aluminum brake pedal and throttle. And then you are gonna get your seat controls with the lower lumbar, very important. And then of course, room. I'm 6 feet tall. Even with the panoramic sunroof, there's plenty of room, and you get that microfiber soft headliner. You know what it feels like, you know. See, the steering wheel. See, look, I'm getting all confused just because of touching this. Steering wheel, we got 2 different kinds of leather, perforated and solid. We got the gray stitching all the way around. You got the F Sport badge. I don't mind the wheel. Some of you might say that it looks dated, and maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but to me, it looks great. You do have an electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and then the dash. You have that clean display, nice large digital tachometer. Look at this, look how it changes with the different modes. I love it, love to see that. And then you have that information display on the left there. Look at how you could scroll through all of this different information, all at the touch of your finger. That is what I'm talking about. Easy peasy, but you know what? It's not just about you. Stop being selfish. Let's check out where your passengers are gonna be sitting, because they're gonna be near a battery pack. Let's see how much room there is in the backseat of this RX Hybrid. All right guys, backseat time, and here's a benefit over the Highlander. You know, we're trying to compare the two. You get a lot more room for your rear seat passengers because you only got the rear seat. There's not a third row, and I'm liking that. Now the backs of the seats, you get some of that soft material, we get some of the plastic, and you do have these really rock solid pockets. What I would keep back here is a yearbook. Keep your high school yearbook back here. Whenever you want to reminisce, or maybe your kids want to see just how cool you were or how much of a dork you were in high school, take a look at the yearbook. What a good way to share some time with your family, thinking about the past. Backs of the center console, you do have rear AC. Then there's a bunch of dead real estate here. I don't know what the point of this is, but the great news is, look at this. You got USB-A's down there for charging. That's where your kids could take pictures and put your old high school yearbook pictures of you all over their Instagram and TikTok. They'll probably do some stupid dance about it or something. Here's the even better news. Even though we got a battery pack back here, look at this. The seats do slide. So they did take care of you there. Do they recline? Well, right now I have it in the lowest setting, but this is your standard. And then you could go, whoa, that much further back. That's what I'm talking about. When you want things to get a little bit more comfortable back here, wink, wink. Let this guy down. Wow, this is softer than the pillow that I use on my bed to go to sleep. So they did a great job there. And then 2 rising cup holders. Put it back, flip it back. The seats look just as sporty as up front, but let's see how much cargo space we have compared to the Highlander in this RX-H. All right, guys, time to get into that rear cargo area. You hit the button right under the Lexus badge. You get a little chime, electric assist. Now, the good news is, because this particular RX is not a 3-row, you can get a 3-row. You get the L for long. This is not a 3-row like the Highlander comes. It's gonna free up the amount of room back here, because a lot of times people don't even want that 3rd row, because the only thing you can fit back there is a teddy bear and a paper mache doll of yourself. But what do we have when it comes to space? We got plenty of room, even with that battery pack that's gonna be right in front of the cargo area. You're looking at 32 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Fold the seats down, you're now looking at 67 cubic feet of space. You got LED lighting, we got the subwoofer from the Mark Levinson sound system. We even have our trusty Lexus first aid kit. It has the Lexus branded Band-Aids that's gonna allow you to heal up faster, so that's good news. And then we do have the handles here. you actually have to pull, and they're not really the best handles. They go down, but you'll notice if you really want to get it all the way to its lowest position, you got to come over here and push on it. And that's as low as they go. They do not lay flat. So that's something to think about compared to other vehicles. But you know what? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead. Let's go on throttle in our RX Hybrid. All right, guys, we're in this 2022 Lexus RX 450h Sport. And right away, you're immediately going to notice the sporty intention with these seats. Nicely bolstered, but still comfortable. And you got the great layout of instrumentation, especially when you're in that Sport Plus mode or Sport Sharp. You're actually going to get a different tachometer. Even though this isn't a high-performance vehicle, it's nice to have those other touches. Now, getting to the infotainment system is well within reach, and I highly recommend go with the touchscreen. Do not try to use the actual trackpad, because that Lexus trackpad is really going to get you into trouble while you're driving down the road. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention earlier, you have a nice supersized 10-inch head-up display. Plus, we got the Mark Levinson sound system. Premium sound, tons of speakers, really going to allow you to rock out to your jams. Real clear sound quality that's known in the industry. Brakes feel good. Visibility out the back is great. You got all your sensing technology, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, emergency brake assist. So you are going to have those safety features. And definitely they did a great job on the quietness of the cabin. But I'm going to go ahead and go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. The electric motor kicks in for the rear wheels and you're off and running. So, not the fastest, but the great news is it's got enough pep to get you out of your own way. The one thing that kind of hinders the whole experience of driving this vehicle is the eCVT, but I think that if you have been around Toyota products and Lexus products long enough, and you're driving a hybrid, that's pretty much what they've had in their hybrid vehicles. But nice amount of room in the back seat, and of course you're getting those adaptive dampers all four corners. Great thickness on the steering wheel, nice good feeling on the steering, and then all the finishes in here, even though yes, they are dated and they definitely look a little dated, it's still very, very nicely done finishes, which is the good news. All right, guys, I want to do some on throttle from a dead stop again. On throttle, here we go. All-wheel drive traction. Nice composed handling. And then that massive 12.3-inch infotainment system display is worth every single penny for that system rather than the smaller 8-inch, because that is the standard screen size. Is you're going to get an 8-inch infotainment system. All right, guys, time to get back out on the highway. On throttle, here we go. So definitely not the most invigorating drive, but you are gonna be saving at the pump and definitely passing up the gas stations a little more often than those that have an RX that is non-hybrid. But getting out onto the highway is real easy. Got just enough power. I like the way the tach changes colors depending on if you're full on throttle. But like I said, with a CVT, the revs just drop really fast. But going down the highway, it's super smooth, very composed. And I think the best part is that it's comfortable. And you got all that extra room because you don't have the third row like you do in a Highlander. All right, guys, I think the best part of this vehicle is definitely the fuel savings you're gonna get, and also all the amenities, the heated seats, the ventilated seats, dual climate control, and you got plenty of room in the back seat for those passengers. Of course, you don't have the third row, but like I've said before, I'll say it again, I don't think you get a lot of use out of that third row just because of the smaller size of it. Now, the paddles on the back of the steering wheel will go through simulated gears. So right now it's in regular drive. I pushed the steering wheel, I pushed the shifter over to the left, and now I could go through simulated gears with that eCVT. It does a pretty good job of making it feel a little bit more connected, but still does not substitute for the real thing. But hopefully this is giving you a nice overall feel of how this 450h is gonna drive, handle, and allow you to transfer people from place to place with some nice luxury appointments, but also even better fuel economy. But we're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day with a great Lexus product. I definitely gotta throw it out to the whole Lexus team for allowing Raiti's Rides access to this press-free vehicle. Let me know what you think. Are you feeling that it's worth the extra money to go the RX route, especially with the hybrid technology? Would you save a little and go with a Highlander, or maybe just fully load and check all the option boxes on that Highlander? Or are you gonna wait? Are you gonna wait for the redesign because you're just as excited as I am? Put your answer to my questions in that comment section. But until we meet again, if you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Raiti's Rides merch. We got to hurry up and wrap this up because the police are coming for some reason. But we definitely got to thank Lori because she is doing the business. Show her some love in the comment section. Here come the cops. So just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.